This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, should be good to go.
All right. The agenda. I see we don't have the, we call it personnel things listed at all. Is that normal?
Yeah, any of the personnel stuff, if we're going to go to executive session for that. So that's kind of the motion for executive session.
All right, so then anybody want to make a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. We don't have any guests, right? We approve the minutes from the September meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the September meeting.
I'll second it.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, Seth, manifest number 5.
Okay. All right. Okay, what did we have here? Just really one thing I wanted to point out, at least, I mean, you guys can look at the other stuff, but we had $983 that we just spent for NYLA conference registrations. So we're sending 7 people to NYLA online, and that's November 5th and 6th. They're doing some virtual programs and then some recorded programs. So we were able to send kind of 7 people, actually, like the majority of our professional staff, to NYLA. So that's good because no one's physically going there. So that was good. Yeah, everything else is kind of just regular business as usual. You know, we're still doing our spine label collection, putting spine labels on all of our books. So that's an ongoing thing. And yeah, I don't see anything else that's out of ordinary there. Does anybody see anything or have questions?
The spine labels, are those,
I'll make a motion to accept.
Hold on,
Second.
go ahead.
Second.
wait a
Joe,
minute, hang on a second.
Yeah, you're
got a
cutting out
question.
a little bit, Joe. Go ahead.
Are those stick-ons for the spine labels?
Yes.
And
Yes.
do they stay on?
Yep, they're permanent labels. Helps people find the authors and titles a little bit easier. So really, it's by author. So if you're looking for a certain author, you can kind of go to the stacks, see where you are, and kind of know where you have to be if you don't know where you need to be. So they're very helpful.
All right, now can we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion to
moved.
accept.
Do we have a second? Was that? All in
I'll
favor?
second.
Aye.
All
Aye.
right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. What do we got next?
Okay, so we got the financial reports, revenues. We can start with revenues. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, so again, see our revenues there are kind of hurting a bit due to obviously COVID-19, not taking in our normal revenues. Again, it's going to be sound like a broken record every meeting, but it's just kind of where we are. So working, trying to figure out the fine process and get that straightened out. And but yeah, we're just not doing business as usual. So that those revenues are going to be less than expected.
Hey Seth, this is Chris. Could you roughly estimate the total impact of those, the cumulative impact of those decreased revenue streams?
It's significant, Chris. I'm looking at, our fine line here, and it's $1,000 that we've taken in for the year so far, and the budget is 16,000. So, I mean, that's, right there. What it means to the
Okay.
library overall, I'm not sure. Again, I think just our budgeting overall and where we spend money, I think we're going to be okay because, again, we're not spending as much money on other things either. So I don't necessarily see it as being something tragic, but just something to be mindful of.
So we aren't halfway through our fiscal year yet, or are we? We're rough. Well, next month.
roughly.
Next month will be halfway, right?
Yeah,
Roughly
yeah,
6 months.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might, granted things change, but if we just projected this pace forward, we might expect to be what, $14,000 net loss for the fiscal year?
That would probably be reasonable. I would think. Yeah, but like I
Okay.
said, without us spending, everything, maybe we're spending less in other categories than before. Even office supplies, other things are down. Our spending is down, of course. So I think it's going to balance out a bit. But it's there. So
again, rough projection estimate. Is our spending on track to be $14,000 less for the fiscal year, or
I'd have to really look at that, but I would say yes. I mean, even with our health insurance and things that we thought we were going to spend more money on, we have our somebody who's going to maybe go on the retiree plan. Right there, we're saving money, so we're saving money. I think we're gonna come out ahead.
yeah.
I mean, every year since I've been director, we've come under budget, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Like, we're going to spend more than we bring in. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, never had a year like this one before, though.
Right.
I mean, personally, I would find it at the halfway mark, being November, right, next month's meeting. Personally, I would find it useful to see some rough projection as to total, as approximate as these may be. We get that, right? We all understand that this is hard to predict, but at least best guess what the total fiscal year impact would be on revenues and expenses. If we could see, I would find that useful to have some sort of, to see that projection.
I think that's a good idea. If for
Seth,
next month you can.
Yeah, what Chris is talking about. Yeah, what Chris is talking about is what we used to do it in finance all the time. Before you got, it was a little later. About half the year. It's what you call a revised budget. Go back and look at your expense and your revenue budget based on the 6 months of actual, 5 or 6 months of actual expenditures and revenues that you've incurred. Right. And just say, this is what our budget is. Here's what I think it's for the year. Here's what I think it's going to be now, and here's what our expenses were, and here's what I think it's going to be now.
Right. Yeah, we could look at those numbers and see where we are. The main thing is going to be whether or not our tax levy money comes in or not. So, that's the more pertinent question. And again, if that comes in fine, like I said, I know we'll be okay. Does anybody have any more questions?
Okay. Yeah. So you'll be able to prepare something like that for us for next.
Yeah, I'll try to look at it. See what kind of projections I can do. I don't know. I think there's something I'm sure I could probably whip up for the board.
Good. Thanks.
Yep.
How is the fax
Something like.
so high?
I'll make a motion.
Just 5 months.
Say that again, Emily.
How's the fax revenue so high for just 5 months?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we do is faxing. I mean, it's huge. That's like one of our main money makers. Honestly, is fax, $1 a page. So We get people who just come in exclusively like, I got a fax. So it's big.
Yeah, but I agree, you would expect that to be down. I mean, your traffic in the library has to be down substantially.
Yeah,
Somehow the
but
fax,
this isn't, yeah, I mean,
lot less people are faxing more, I guess, is what you're saying.
yeah, they're coming in and they're faxing. I mean, we've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it as we're closing curbside and people just knocking on the door saying, I just need to fax something. I just need to send something. So it's, yeah, it's different than fines, I guess, people checking things out. It's still something that they need. I mean, you look at, yeah, copies, okay, maybe that's still people are coming in to make copies all the time. Okay, well, cafe beverages, obviously people aren't coming in the library to use that, but they're coming to the library strictly to do those things right now. So that's what we're seeing.
I didn't think there were fax machines. I didn't think fax machines were still out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Amazing.
yeah, people come in for that service. We're one of the cheapest in town. Same things with the copies, that people come to the library for that only. So, yep. That was good. I
Maybe
didn't catch that.
15,000 more people will come.
Yeah. I didn't catch that, Emily. So that was good that you said that, because I guess I'm like, wow, that's actually not too bad, actually. But yeah, people are always coming in. So it makes
I
sense.
still have a fax machine. I still have a fax machine. I keep it by my butter churn, but
When people have to
Go ahead.
send things to DSS or other organizations, they have to fax it to them, and so it's a constant thing that's used here. Absolutely. Yep. Anything else?
You done with the financials then?
We haven't. Nope. Sorry, we talked about expense here. And I guess that goes along with what we're saying. So let's kind of look here. Office supplies, right? Something that I was talking about. $1,500 we've spent office supplies. The budget is 15,000, right? So you're halfway. You're going to spend $3,000-$4,000 potentially in office supplies, depending, how much we're open now and what we're doing. I mean, that's a huge savings right there. Postage, our miscellaneous, contracted services, everything that we're not seeing the spending like we're normally accustomed to when we're open. So, that's why I really feel like we're going to be okay. It's not a real revenue shortfall that's going to have the library in any type of jeopardy.
Yeah, well, that would be good news.
Well, I think
But
the
yeah, let's just see some
computer equipment,
as
we're
best
pretty
we can
much
get
done.
numbers. Let's see some projected numbers next month. Thanks.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, something like expenses are down 15%. Revenue is down 12% or 20% in a comparison. And if one is 60 and one is 10, then we need to look deeper into it. If there's one is staying together, might be a quick look.
Mhm.
All right.
Great.
The
Somebody
computer
wanna approve
equipment, we're pretty
the,
much done for the year.
Sorry, what's that? The computer
The
expense,
computer
we're not
equipment, are we pretty much
No.
done?
No, we'll
What?
pay. We'll use all that line item up. That line item will be used on what we talked about last.
But we're not going over.
No, right. We'll go with
Yes.
laptops and other things that need to be purchased for the
It's
library.
just timing, all right.
Yep. Yeah, I don't spend up all that line item. I don't really spend that money until kind of the second half of the year, closer to the end of the fiscal year, just in case we need money for something. Okay.
somebody want a
The,
motion to?
The health insurance active set, that's, right, one more question. Health insurance active.
Mhm.
We've only spent 26,000. We're almost halfway through the year at a budget of 106.
Yeah.
Are we
So
way behind on bills? I mean,
no.
based on this, we're going to spend $60,000 instead of 106.
Right. So what I said earlier with Nancy, we're going to talk about that potentially, but she's no longer on the active plan. So right there, that's cutting down one person who was on the active plan, and is not on the active
Yeah,
plan. That helps right there.
but Seth, we've only spent 26,000 and the
Mhm.
budget's 106.
Yep.
So I mean, we're gonna, at that, based on that, we could be $40,000 and we're under budget.
Right.
'Cause one person, I don't think is gonna count for that, right?
Not that, I mean, I know we had last year, we had accounted, I think 10% raise increase. We're doing 6% this year. So, I mean, we're under on what we anticipated the raise in the amount was going to be in the premium. And again, that does offer Nancy does offer a significant savings if that's how it goes.
You better look at that number in particular then, because when you're doing your projections, that looks like it's just too low, even with one person coming out, unless we're behind on our bills.
Well, we're not.
Our budget
Somebody
was way
would
too
know.
high, one or the other.
Somebody would know by now. You would have already heard about that. Somebody's insurance would probably be canceled. Any other questions?
Motion to accept financial report.
So moved. So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, all right. So we're going to talk about the construction grant award. I don't know, you guys got Steve's email there, but it was what we had already anticipated. I just wanted to see that you guys had saw what the award amount was and what we were getting. We're anticipating to getting the cost is $143,582, and we're getting a grant of $107,687. So the out-of-pocket expense for the library for the roof will be $35,895. So that's what we'll be spending out of pocket, which is a lot better than $100,000. Anybody have any questions? Yeah. It looks like we're getting the full 75% of the award match.
Grab it.
Good.
All right.
Okay, next.
Any
Trustee,
action on the trust?
no, we haven't had any applications yet, so I just wanted to keep the board informed about that there hasn't been any applications yet. Hopefully we'll get some soon. So library hours of operations about Saturdays. I feel like a broken record that we've already talked about this 2 meetings. With all the cases going up, again, we're supposed to be starting Saturday hours, November 7th, Saturday after early voting. We decided to kind of go in parallel with JC, and so we would be doing 1 to 5 our hours. But with the spike in cases, I just want to ask the board if that's what they want to continue to do, or if we should be altering our plan of action.
No one is entering the library though right now. Is that true?
Right, and we'll talk about that in new business a bit, but I talked with JC. I talked to JC Library Director, obviously Ben. I talked to the director at Vestal today and Binghamton, and they're not looking to have anybody come in person in the library till sometime in November now. So I didn't know if that matters or
About those libraries.
What's that, Paul?
All of those libraries are not allowing people in at this point, is what you're saying, right?
Right, until sometime after November. So, are we gonna be doing that? So, wanted the board to kind of weigh in on that. In new business, go ahead.
Yeah, as Chris, I favor opening up on Saturday, as planned.
That you
But
would
not be open the rest of the week?
Yeah, so what
What?
I would have,
We're saying
No,
not
we're
be
just
open
Paul.
during
We're just talking. No, Paul, we're talking about adding Saturday hours to the current hours that we have.
You're right, but the
So
current
whatever
hours are zero now.
The current hours were just
Current hours are
curbside
zero.
only. Right, we're curbside
Right.
only.
We're not
No,
open.
the
We're not
library, Paul, the library is not closed. Is it?
Physically, it is.
But people
Curbs-
can get services.
Curbside, yes, curbside service.
People
So,
can get services. So, I mean, I would
Curbside.
favor whatever we're currently doing Monday through Friday, we should do it on Saturdays also.
okay,
Right, Seth, I was gonna say, you would just follow whatever protocol you have during the week, whether that be curbside or when you open up and start letting small numbers of people in, or if you're gonna do it by appointment, you know, whatever you're doing during the week, just do that on Saturday as well.
right. So that I guess we can jump into new business there because I mean that ties in. So obviously we're in this yellow zone with it would be to the 23rd, to where we could even open up again to the public to have folks come in. And like I said, the other libraries are not going to be doing any in-person till sometime in November. I would say that we remain curbside. At the earliest that we return to any in-person services would be November 2nd, and that would be the day after early voting. So
Approximately, how many do you do a day curbside, Seth?
you know what? It's varied. That's like, I can't really give you an accurate number. Obviously now we've been very busy with curbside, but before,
We have.
things were slowing down, obviously as people could come in the building. So,
Yeah. No, but now it's active
probably
right now is what you're saying. Right?
25 to 30, I would have to say at least,
Okay,
curbside visits.
okay.
So, if the board wants to, curbside model, we'll continue on doing curbside, until, I don't know. I don't know. I would, like I said, I would do curbside until at least the 2nd. And then like I said, if you guys think, I mean, how are we going to decide, okay, yes, switch to curbside or, stay curbside only or switch to in-person? If that's something you guys agree that Joe and I can decide, I can call him up and say, hey, cases are still high or whatever's going on. Other libraries are staying curbside through November 7th or through November 15th. Is that a decision that Joe and I can make based on what other directors are doing as well in the area? Or is that something the board wants to set a hard deadline to in-person services should be so-and-so? I just think it's such a fluid situation that you can't really set a date on it right now, to do that, but
I thought that we had said we were going to review it every 2 weeks. When is that first 2 weeks over?
the first 2 weeks again would be the 23rd is the first, so when that yellow zone situation is happening. So it was implemented on the 9th. We're 1 week in tomorrow, and so we have one more week of it to the 23rd. So again, really the first time we could offer any in-person services again would probably be the 26th of October. Like I said, with all the other libraries being curbside only until sometime in November, if we're the only library that goes back to in-person services, every Broome County resident or that patrons those other libraries and ours will come to our library, right? So we have a flood of every patron from BCPL, from Vestal, from YHPL coming to Endicott because we're the only library we can come in the door. So it's really important to kind of work in unison with those other libraries, I feel.
Anybody got any thoughts?
Chris, how do you feel?
I don't see anything.
Chris?
Oh yeah, I already mentioned I would like to see us do on Saturdays whatever it is we're doing Monday through Friday. Granted, it will, I was just talking previously about revenues and shortfalls and expenses and stuff, and this will obviously cost additional salary and such. But I think it's important to, as much as it's an important service to the community, even though it's just for now curbside pickup can't come inside, still, I think the community would welcome having some sort of library service on Saturday.
Yeah, I would agree. And as far as curbside, that would be my recommendation. Like I said, whenever we're open, curbside, and until we really deem that it's safe to really have people back in. But again, who's making that decision and who's saying, okay, yep, it's.
I guess the question, though, but I think the question Joe is trying to get at is, how do we agree to when we come back to opening the library? What's the process? Is it something Seth and Joe decide, or is it something we think the board needs to decide? I believe that's the question.
Yes.
Okay. I see, as Seth had mentioned, I see a lot of value to doing it collectively with our sister libraries. I mean, this is very much similar to what UHS and Lords have done with, for example, their visitor policies, as to whether they're going to let visitors in or not, and how many and for how long. They've done a good job in doing that collectively, and I think that's would be an important thing.
Yeah, I would say I think we did a good job. Just again, I call Joe and say, hey, cases are going up. Just last week or so, Joe, and we said, cases are going up, and JC thinks about going to curbside. I think we should go to curbside too. And then it was like, okay, the governor's saying we shouldn't have people in the building. So I feel like we're on top of it. I think we're doing a good job. I just don't want to step on the board's toes or anything like that. So
I think it'd be appropriate for Joe and Seth. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just thought it would be appropriate for Joe and Seth to make the decision. And if for some reason you want the whole board, you can call us.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. If we get to the decision point and Seth and I talk and we're going against what the state or the governor is saying, we ought to have the board involved. If we're following everything that the state says and they're recommending go or no go, and we're following that, I don't need to know that we need to get everybody involved. Well, my question is, if everybody else is staying closed until November.
No, I think you just let us know, Joe. That's all.
Right. Agreed. If they're staying closed till November, do they have a projection of a review, or for how long? Or like we said, every 2 weeks we'll look at it. Are they doing anything like that, or every month, or what are they doing?
No, nobody really said that to me, and I think Ben, similar to what I just proposed to you, he kind of looks at the situation, talks to me, and then kind of can just talk to his board president, and they make a decision. Or again, if it's they really feel like we should talk to the rest of the board about this thing, then that's kind of how it goes. The other two new guys, Vestal and BCPL, I haven't really talked to them about that too much, but I'm guessing it's a similar way. That fluid situation, you kind of got to make a decision as you can. So
I don't think.
Yeah, there's always gonna be a balance here, but I do want to see that we try as best we safely can to get back to some semblance of in-person services when we can. I mean, I'm looking at this. I was going to share this around with you all, and I will. But I'm looking at this Syracuse.com news article. 26 full-time employees at Onondaga County Public Library laid off or furloughed. That was September 21st. And they're talking, at least this article is talking about the Onondaga County Public Library may not reopen until March. And
Wow.
the trouble is, it's awfully hard to claim around budget, around ballot initiative time. It's awful hard to claim how essential library services are when you close for such a long period of time. And I think Onondaga is going to run into that. I mean, they already are. Look, they're talking about being closed, and it's easy. Now, granted, they're in a different position because we are not a library like they are, a county library, but it's real easy for something to become a self-fulfilling prophecy If your operations are closed, it's real easy to, when you're looking for budget savings, to lay those folks off, and then then you can't get back up and running. So again, we want to be careful that we aren't invisible and non-servicing for longer than we absolutely need to be.
Yeah, I think we've proven that. Again, we were first library really open, Broome County, with back in patron services again, and a library of this magnitude. So in size and scope, where other libraries were still just doing curbside. And so that we did that quite well. And again, we're just basically just returning to curbside now. From July. So I think we've done a good job in making sure we're in-person services. And again, everybody wants to do in-person services and not have to worry about laying people off and keeping people working. So I don't think that should be too much of an issue.
Well, nothing says if things suddenly change in the next 2 weeks that we can't then open up, even though we said we're closed until November. So how we word that is, I think, is important. That possibility exists. It's not a hard fast rule. We will not open before this date, kind of thing. Then we'll go with that.
Yeah. So that November 2nd date is something that we can say, we will be curbside until that date. After that, we'll board will assess or whatever, and we'll make that decision to return possibly to in-person services. I think that's the best thing. So that's okay with you.
And we'd want to keep the cycle times.
Yeah, I think
as long we want to keep the cycle times as long as we can, so that we aren't into we're open today, we're not open tomorrow, then we'll be open 2 days from now, and that's too frequent to switch. Yeah.
Right.
But I think we're saying that November 2nd date, that's our tentative plan. If all of a sudden things drop and everybody starts opening in a week or two, then we should look at opening in a week. I think we're saying tentatively it's November 2nd, but it's fluid.
Yeah.
Based on the real world.
Yeah, like I said, based on what the directors told me today, they're not planning on anything, before November. So they're saying no after November. So I think we would be fine there. Yeah, that kind of Syracuse March thing sounds like a really long time. But yeah, I mean people are scared. So all right, that's how we'll kind of just market it and just let people know. We'll at least be curbside until November 2nd, and then, we're looking how things are changing, and just let people know that could change. We could go right back to in person, or we could remain curbside past that date. And again, I'll just keep in contact with Joe, and we can kind of make that decision as we see things. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
Yep, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. Holiday schedule. Is that where we are? Yeah. We talked about return to in person, so that's done. Yeah, holiday schedule. Everybody get a chance to look at those dates.
Pretty logical to me.
Yep. Nothing's really changed since last year. Obviously, we're not adding or taking away any holidays. It's just the matter that we get an extra floating holiday because of Christmas falling on Saturday and Independence Day falling on Sunday. But nothing else has changed. Our staff training day for Friday, January 15th, guessing that will still go on to some extent. Sexual harassment training and whatever else we need. How that's going to happen with computers and people, well, it'll be scattered throughout the library, and whatever training we can do possibly. Might be an online format completely, but we'll give our staff the opportunity to come in during that time and take the online training if they need to have access to a computer, access to internet services, obviously here, where at home they might not have that. So that would be, that's the plan. Do you guys want
you have Independence Day. You have Independence Day, Sunday, July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Won't you really be celebrating it on the 5th or the Monday or the Friday?
People may, but we'll be open. So we're always open. We're always open during that time. I know we are. So whether it's Saturday
On
or
Sunday?
whether-
No, it's a Sunday. Oh,
yes, it's
oh,
us.
I see what you're saying. We'll be open on the 5th, but
Right.
oh, but how do they get that holiday? If that 4th falls on a Sunday, how does the library get the holiday? What day
That's what-
do they get a day
that's-
off, everybody? Do we close the library for the 4th?
Well, Sunday we're already closed, right? So yeah, so that Monday, like I said, that's why
Right.
down here at the bottom, you see that staff does get a floating holiday. Full-time staff members gets a floating holiday. We'll be open on that Monday, the 5th. That's when it's observed. Or yeah, on the 5th if it's observed. So
Oh,
staff will work. They get the
so the
option.
library will be open.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, department head meetings?
Yeah. Did everybody get a chance to just look those over and see what was going on?
What's this? Which one is this, Joe?
The
What are we
department,
talking about now?
the department head meeting minutes.
Oh,
Beth, when did
were
we
were
get,
they in the
I don't think I have that.
stuff you just sent us today?
I hope so. I think they
I
were.
don't have that either. I don't think.
Did anybody get them?
no.
No.
No, no,
That's not.
No,
no.
I didn't get.
Okay. I will send those out to you guys. I'm sorry if they didn't get on the list. That's my fault. Oh boy.
Is there something there we need to talk about?
No, not really. No, there isn't. I'm sorry about that. I thought I sent that out to you guys. Holidays, yeah, must not have made it into my folder. No, it was just, again, kind of the things that we talked about here. There's some programming things going on. And just some other general things that don't necessarily need a discussion. So we're getting set up for early voting. There's some book clubs, adult book club that we're trying to do, some hybrid online that is happening. So let's see. Yeah, so nothing crazy. I'll send those out to you. It's just something that staff likes to know that the board looked at and kind of see the general day-to-day what's happening. So, sorry about that.
While we're talking about that, we had talked in the past about trying to get this information a day or two earlier. Is any possibility of that, or?
The agenda I know we had talked about, and so that was the main thing that I remember writing down in the review there. This, some of these things, like I think we just had this meeting just a few days ago. The other information is really, it's on the day. I'm still working on most of this information the day of the meetings. The manifests, the reports, other things when they get to me. So I don't necessarily have them early to give. And so that, I mean,
Seth, in the review, I have the sheet. In the review, we agreed that we would get the documents 3 days before the meeting. That was what you agreed to.
yeah,
Quite honestly, getting 14 documents, 3 hours before the meeting just puts us in a tough spot. We can't look at it at all.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah,
We agreed to 3 days before the meeting.
Yeah, what I remember was the
That's what we
agenda
did.
was supposed to come out 3 days before the meeting. The
I
agenda.
got the sheet. You can go back.
I know I wrote it
You
down.
can go back and look at the sheet.
I know I wrote it down exactly on my sheet that I was given.
No,
It
I
said
have the sheet in
agenda.
front of me. This is the sheet that you were given.
I know what the sheet was that was given, but the
Well, there
documents
it
that
is.
were
Go
talked
look, we'll
about,
find the sheet.
the documents that were talked
It
about
says
was
3
the
days.
agenda. I can pull that up and show you where I wrote
It says
agenda.
documents plural. It says documents plural, not just the agenda. It does not say the agenda.
I remember bringing this exact thing up in the meeting, that it's impossible most of the times to get all of these
Just look
things
at the
to you
sheet.
guys.
And we said you have to do the best you can.
I know what you said.
So
but
we just can't get 14.
I'm telling you what's possible. Like when we have a board meeting in person, you've never got any of these documents but the agenda. When Ed was director or anybody else before the meeting, that never occurred. So to say like, hey, can you get all this stuff before 3 days does? A, it's not possible because I don't have the financials. I don't have the reports. Today, talk about Columbus Day. I didn't even get the financial reports from the village until Tuesday, you know, to start to try to put this stuff together because they're closed. So I'm paying bills. I'm paying bills that are coming in constantly from the last 3-4 days. So I don't have the manifest for you to give if I haven't even got the bills yet in the mail or entered. So for you to keep asking me to try to bring this up, it's not possible. And I've told you the agenda is what you guys have said in that meeting. And that's the only thing you guys have ever got before in any meeting.
That's really not quite true, because if there was letters, I understand what you're saying about the bills and the financial report, but like one of these letters is dated September 30th. Like he would send that stuff ahead. Like I was still working today when this, I honestly, I haven't looked at this stuff yet because I had a late work. I'm sure Chris too.
And I didn't get that letter at September 30th. That was sent to Joe in the mail, and then Joe emailed it to me. So
Okay.
you guys have got it, as other people have.
Could we
I
look
would send us letters and things ahead of time if
I've tried
possible.
to send out what I can normally before. This isn't the, you know, you guys have always got, I've sent things to you guys when I've had them most of the time before the
It
meeting.
seems like
It's not like, hey, you always just get stuff today. There are times that you get the financial stuff, but there's plenty of times
could
I
we look
send
at
part one of documents if I have them. So that's not been a precedent where I've sent everything always or something, you know, on the day of the meeting. When I have them, I try to send them to you a few days early if I have it, but a lot of the times I just don't have the stuff available yet. And that's what I could say.
could we look at delaying our meetings till the fourth Thursday or a different day?
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about the manifest, I don't even have the insurance bills. They don't come in yet, you know, so we have asterisks on those because I haven't even got those bills yet. And when it's the third Thursday, that's the 15th. I mean, how many bills have come in? So that's why it's such a time constraint that you guys don't understand that I'm trying the hard as I can to pull all these documents together on the day of the meeting. I mean, you could ask Ed the same thing, he would tell you the same thing. So it's very tough to do. And to say, well, you're not trying or you're not doing, like, there's been times that you guys have got documents that I have and I've sent them before the meetings, well before the meetings, and say, here you go, this is what I got. And then when I have other financial documents or things, then I send them to you. Might be on the day of the meeting, might be whenever, but it's always, you're always getting documents on the day of the meetings, whether they're in person or whether we're online. So it's not like, wow, we've always got documents when we, you know, all the financials and everything was already ready. It's just not the case. So I don't like that we have that.
Hold on. I hear you. Now, if it's not available, then we can't get it. But it comes available at some point, and should we be moving our meeting to a week or so after that point when it is available? Therefore, we would get it, we could review it and maybe ask intelligent questions or slide right through some of that stuff because we've looked at it and are very pleased with it. Anybody got ideas about moving our schedule?
We used to meet on the
Thursday a
second,
good day?
I think.
I'm sorry.
We used to meet on the second Thursday. I think we moved it to the third Thursday
That's right,
because
yeah, it was.
with Chris's schedule, but maybe the end of the month would be better. You know, if that's easier for Seth too, then fine with me.
You know, and it's very hard. I mean, yeah, for Bill's sake, it would be hard, but the other things like this that come up, these things have just come up that we're talking about tonight based on reviews, right? Doing my job, we're reviewing people and these compensation or other things come up. And so, okay, now let me, you know, try to get this document straightened out for you. And it's just kind of how it works in the libraries. I don't know what else to really say to you guys. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I don't understand it in a way because Jennifer's right. We used to meet on the second Thursday and we'd always have the manifests. It must be just cut off as of that date or something.
Does the stuff come in just random, Seth?
Yeah, I mean, again, it comes in the mail whenever it's going to come. But, you know, again, obviously our health insurance bills take forever to kind of get here, and that's tough. And so when the bills come in, we try to pay them. So obviously they don't go to the next month and they're 30 days behind because, they didn't get paid. So I'm going to my mailbox on 2:00, 2:30, the day of our meeting, and I'm taking bills that are in there and I'm trying to pay them, get them entered into the system with the vouchers and everything, and then adding them, to the manifest and doing those type of things so they can get paid, as current as possible.
But you could have a set date. You could have a set date, Seth, that would be 3 days before the meeting.
Mhm.
Put in the report everything there, and then those last 3 days you could report in the next month since it's random, right? I mean, there's no day that would make it better than any other day. It's always random, right? Everything's
Right. I
random.
mean, the later would help, but what I'm saying is, then those bills haven't been approved, might not get approved by the board, right? If we do we make our cutoff date of Monday, there's bills from Monday to Thursday that come in that are not going to get paid then, for the month until the next 30 days, depending on when the board meeting is, right? And then a check can't go out until the following payday with the village. So I don't, then I have to send those over to the village and then they approve and at their board meetings and then write the checks. So,
But if everything's random, there's always going to be bills
As Jennifer said,
that are going to wait 30 days.
we used to meet on the second Thursday.
If the bills are random, they're always
As Jennifer pointed out,
day.
we used to meet on the second.
yes, Dr. Ribner, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it's whether the majority of the bills for the month are getting in on a later date, opposed to, we met halfway through the month, and so half of the bills for the month kind of came in, but then the other half are coming in after the 15th, right? And or we stopped on the 12th, right? And so that's even longer than that. Those bills are not going to get paid for the following month.
That's a fact of
We
life.
used to meet on the second Thursday. Is there a way you get a light on so when somebody wants to talk that they can, I'm confused by this process here. Is there some way to, because three of us are always talking at the same time. How do we know if somebody can talk when you can talk? Is there a way to know or not?
There's not really, no.
So the technology, it's limited.
Yeah. Okay, well, what I was trying to say is we used to meet on the second Thursday of the month, as Jennifer pointed out. And at that meeting, we would have a manifest. We would have expenses. We would have revenues. And that was a week earlier than we're meeting now. So, I mean, somehow we were able to do it, get this information meeting on the second Thursday. This is a week later. That's why I guess there must be just, you have to do a cutoff and say, this is it or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm
In other
saying.
words, this is all the
If it's
expenses
random,
I have
that's
by
what
the
you do.
Tuesday. By the Tuesday of the week, this is all we have in, and you have to run with it, I guess. I don't know.
I think that whatever day we meet, some bill is going to come in the day before or the day after,
Right.
or some money's going to come in before. So it doesn't matter. Let's get a cutoff date. And we say, here's the information 2 to 3 days in advance, but it's as of last Monday, whatever. Let's pick a date, cut it off, and give us the information that is available that date that is 3 days maybe before our meeting. Because if we move our meeting to the next Thursday, it's going to have the same situation, I think. We just got to pick a date and cut it off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Information as of that date.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we don't want to say, we don't want to have you saying, well, in the last 2 days, this came in. Ignore that unless it's earth shattering. Here it is as of Monday. You give it to us, and on Thursday, review it.
Yeah, I'm confused as to why it's necessary that we cut off the day, or none of that's been done before like that. It's always been, again, Ed doing the same thing, paying the bills as they get on the day of the meeting. If that's, part of the financial report or bills manifest, again, something that you've always got on the day of the meeting, never got early, why would we change the day? Why would we need to change the day? What we're talking about, or you're talking about, is potentially letters of other importance that aren't got to you guys that you feel early enough. So for the financials, that doesn't play there. So I'm kind of confused as to why we'd make that change without it.
Yeah, I agree. The financials, we normally would get the day of the meeting. Yeah,
Always.
I agree, Seth. The financials were normally the day of the meeting.
Right.
It's all this other, all the other stuff.
Mhm. And I mean, that's why we have the meetings and we take the time. I mean, meetings have seemed online, they've seemed shorter than ever. So, I mean, I don't think we're staying too late, or normally our meetings were 2.5 hours when we meet at 6:30 to 9 o'clock when the library's closing. So I don't see where there's a time problem or people don't have time to review. We could review in the meeting, the document, pull it up, take the time to review whatever letter, whatever it is, and talk about it, and still probably end our meetings early. Am I missing that, or?
I think what we're saying is there are other things that we're doing from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until meeting time that we may not get a chance to review it. So the suggestion is, let's cut it off, cut off the information on Tuesday, Monday, whatever is good, so that you can pull the information together, get it to us, and tell us it's as of this date. Because whatever we got here right now is out of date by a couple hours. So let's not
It
move the
seems like
date. We don't
it
have to move
hurts
the
the
date around.
library to cut off the business of the library off to the next month because we want the information early and to not just be able to go over it in the meeting that we have time to go over it. We have to say, well, we need it early to review it for the meeting. And so if something important comes up on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, we can't talk about that until next meeting. Is that what we're saying?
No, I think I just said, you cut it off Monday, Tuesday, whatever. And if there's something earth shattering that happened on late Tuesday or Wednesday, you bring that up. Otherwise, if it's just, hey, we added the normal expense, don't bring it up. This is as of Monday or as of Tuesday, end of discussion. And we have a chance to look at it, study. Maybe we want to look at it compared to the last year's and that last month's. We've got lots of time to do that. And then we can beat you up that way.
Yeah, I mean, again, you guys want to do it differently than what's been done. It's up to you guys. I'll do what I can do. It's never been done that way, and for somebody to look at me
I
and
mean, if
say,
we say
"Hey,
cut it off at Tuesday,
you need to do this differently because I mean, that's what we're asking for now. That's fine, but it was very tough when you're asking for financials and other things to be done early. That's just not possible. So we will, pick a date. The Monday before the board meeting will be maybe the last day that I take in whatever any information or financial information, whatever you guys want, and then you'll get it by Tuesday.
anyone have a problem with that?
Seth, I
That okay
think
with
the
everybody?
financial stuff is fine the day of the meeting. I mean, that report, it's just like, I mean, I'm gonna have to read these letters during this meeting now, right? And I just feel like I can't be as useful and have as good of a discussion if I'm reading it for the first time right now. That's all. The letters, not the financial stuff.
But I mean, that's why we have the meetings, right? We don't have, I mean, we have the meetings. This isn't the first time you guys have gotten a letter during, your tenure on the day of a meeting. So I just, it's like we've got the time. You've got the time to look at it, take the time, review it, and go through it, and that's okay. It's like, no, we need it early so we can look at it early and maybe not take as much time during the meetings, or it's like.
I don't feel like I can discuss it in an intelligent way if I'm reading it during the meeting. So I have gotten letters. I've been on this board a long time, and I've gotten letters like this a few days before.
Yeah.
So I can think, but I haven't read this. I mean, I'll read it now. That's fine. But then everyone has to sit around while we read a letter. But, sometimes it's going to be earth shattering and important, and that's what has to happen.
Ladies wrote in a book and Joe's brought a letter to the meeting and read it in the meeting. I mean, again, I know both ways. I've given you guys documents before. We've done documents at the meeting. I just don't understand the big change and why we're trying to get the director, we're like, hey, we said 3 days, and it's like, hey, it's not possible. And I've tried to convey that message many times, and it's like, we want to have a review so we can get on a guy about it. It's very frustrating that we're doing this right here.
Seth, as they said, the financials, we've always gotten the financials.
Well, now you just said, before you said all the documents.
We've always gotten the financials the day.
3 days on that, and then when I'm trying to tell you I can't do the financials, and now it's no, not the financials. So It's fine. It's
No,
just,
the financials the day of the meeting are fine. It's all the other stuff, the letters and the holidays and all that. It's just that we can talk about it more intelligently if we have a chance to review it, like Joe said, that's all. The financials are fine the day of the meeting. That's what they always are. But it's, the other 10 things.
Personally, I don't like reading the letters during the meeting, and Jen has already read it and she's commenting and I'm still reading. I lose out. I don't think that's a good way to do it. Whatever we can get ahead of its time, let's do it. And if we have to cut it off 2 or 3 days before, I don't see a problem with that.
I don't either.
Anybody have a problem?
No, no.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a motion to go to executive session. Somebody want to make a motion to go to executive session?
So
I'll make-
moved. So moved. Yeah.
I'll second.
All right,
All right, I'm gonna.
all in
set-
favor?
Hold on. We need a reason.
What do we have?
You can't just motion to go in executive. It has to be one of those specified reasons.
We have a letter from one of the employees that we need to discuss about benefits. We have a second letter about salary.
And another kind of information.
Salaries in general, or salaries and
Individual.
benefits for a particular person?
Particular person.
All right.
Both the benefits
So
and salary or
your
particular person?
your acceptable specified reasons are matters which may imperil the public safety if disclosed, matters which identify a law enforcement agent or informer, information related to a current or future investigation or prosecution of a criminal offense, discussion regarding proposed pending or current litigation, collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law, the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, the preparation, grading, or administration of exams, or the proposed acquisition or sale of real estate. It has to be one of those.
So it's at least promotional and
Third
So
one
the
from the
motion
last sounded
is-
pretty close about
So
the
that would be
employees.
section 105F, the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person, or matters leading to appointment, employment, promotion, et cetera, et cetera. So the motion has to be,
Good.
I move to go into executive session for, and you can just say section 105F.
Got it. Thank you.
So somebody making that motion, and then we have to vote on whether to do it or not.
I move that motion.
Emily, you second, did you?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
Aye.
All right.
I'm sending a
About
meeting.
2 weeks. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm sending a meeting link. I'm just replying to all for the last email that Seth sent us, so everybody should get the link in that email thread.
Can we just stay on this?
So we're gonna leave this meeting, right?
I think
Yeah,
we
but
have, unless
can-
Seth, you just stop recording because there's nobody else on this call, this meeting.
I don't know. I think if I stop recording, it'll stop recording the whole meeting. So I don't want to do that.
Okay, well, I just sent everybody a link. It's just a Google Meet link. So if you,
Can we just stay on this?
All right, so we should exit this, we should leave this meeting, right? That what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this running, and when we're done with the executive session, then just come back here and say what was determined, or figure out not say what was determined, and can close the meeting down. So
But in other words, we have to get out of this on our computer and go to Jennifer's link, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
mhm.
yeah, you have to leave. And
Okay.
then, okay,
I mean,
did everybody get
you can stay technically. I mean, I can mute you here, I think, but maybe it won't work with your microphone. I don't know. You probably are right to just.
mine won't work unless I leave, but
Yeah.
okay. So I hope everybody got the link. I just did a reply all to everybody.
Yeah, I see it.
I
Okay,
did not get it yet.
you're on there.
I didn't get it on my phone, but it might be on my computer. My phone is slow.
Joe, I'm sending it again to you.
So we just hit that link and come on that way.
Yep. All
All
right.
right.
I'm leaving this.
Jen, send it to me one more time too, would you?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
I don't have it, Jen.
You don't? I just
There
forwarded
it is.
it again.
Both of them came in together.
Okay. All right, Paul, I just sent it to you again.
All right. All right. I'm going to close this and go look for it on the computer.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anybody. Are you guys on? Joe, are you on the other meeting?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on the other Google meeting. I can't get on, or it's not working. The link's not working for me.
Seth, try it again.
Okay, I'm just gotta mute this here. Hold on.
Do you have to be signed into an account? No, I can admit people. I should be able to. I should get a notification, but I'll send him an invitation. I'm gonna send Paul another invitation.
Yeah, Jen, when I click on the link, it's signed in, but it's not letting me go to the link. I mean, no one's there at the link. So I don't know.
I know he said he was having trouble on his computer. Wait, let's see. Okay, there. Seth, you should be in now. Yeah, okay.
And now they can barely see the chair.
Hello, this is Ryan back.
We're waiting for Paul again.
We're always waiting for Paul.
He's
Don't
back.
tell him. Don't tell
Technically
him.
challenged, I'm sorry.
He just came back.
Don't tell him I said that. Don't tell him I said that.
We'll keep it just between us.
And
So motion
maybe we
to,
should ask Emily to read that motion if she has it.
Which motion?
The one we're supposed to vote on that Jeff suggested. Emily, you're on mute.
That was anyone over 65 who's still working
yes.
to participate. It's a policy change so that they can participate in the retired plan rather than the active working plan.
Upon turning 65.
I think it's a clarification. And that if we get what we're looking for from the insurance company, then we'll make that clarification. Jeff, are you on there?
So I might say something like pending reassuring or findings, whatever,
Adversary
from our
effects.
insurance agent.
Yep.
You know, when we get, actually, when Mary looks at this, the actual plan documents, the more I think about it, I was off base before. It's probably not going to say retiree. It's probably going to say age 65, and maybe the plan is okay right the way it reads. Maybe, you know, once you talk to Mary, you might find out we're okay anyway, and she can just move into it. Probably just says age 65, you get on a Medicare Advantage plan. And maybe
I'm
the
pretty
plan
sure
document may be okay the way it is.
Yeah.
That was our discussion.
But we need the employee.
Just need to know that
We need
there
the
will
employee
be no
handbook
adverse
clear.
effects if they're moving
Yeah.
over. Yes. Okay. All right.
So
that's-
we're
What do
requesting
you have there?
verification from Mary that this is not going to have any adverse implications that we're unaware of, and pending receipt of that, we're going to make this clarification to the employee manual that people over 65, either in our employ or otherwise meeting criteria formerly employed, that can enroll in that Medicare Advantage. We're going to clarify such that people over 65 still in our employ, and I would think would say formerly on our active employee health plan, younger 65, could switch to the Medicare Advantage. This just occurred to me. We want to avoid any verbiage that would inadvertently say, "Oh, I wasn't even eligible for health insurance before, but now with this new clause, I hit 65, and now I can get the library to pay for my Medicare Advantage plan."
Yeah, I think it would.
Yeah, I keep thinking
be the people who are eligible.
There about you had to be on the plan 10 years or something.
Yeah, you have to.
We might have put something in there, Chris, about being on the plan 10 years or something. I thought we dealt with that. I can't remember.
I think it's employed.
There might be.
It's employed 10 consecutive years before you can, to go. I believe.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, these are these nuances that I was talking about. We want to make sure we don't open up any unintentional a doorway that we did not intend.
Right. So I mean, the benefit to get on health insurance for any employee, you have to have a certain criteria to even be eligible. So people who are part-time and working here, whatever it is, and haven't been, employed for X amount of years, whatever it is, can't just get on the plan right now. So that would change. I think the one thing that you did say, I don't know if you meant to say, but even if somebody wasn't on the active plan, I would think, and they were eligible to get insurance, maybe they couldn't afford the active plan beforehand, but they can afford the Medicare plan now, that they would still be able to, if they were eligible to get on an employee plan, they should still possibly be able to get on.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I don't know what.
maybe we need the that relevant section or page of the employee handbook circulated around with the proposed language to make the clarification, so that we all know what we're talking about and what we're looking at. Because I don't have it here with me in front of me.
Let me read you what it says. Section 701 on page 28. Individual or family coverage for full-time employees is available with a 16% employee contribution and premiums, subject to revision by the library board. This includes, and it goes on about what it covers, employees separating from service after having worked a minimum of 10 consecutive years immediately prior to separation, during which time they were also eligible for library-provided health insurance, and having reached the age of 60 years are eligible for coverage under active employee health plan under the same term as the active employees until they reach age 65. Upon reaching age 65, they are eligible for coverage under Medicare Advantage plan. And I think all we have to do is add in there, if they're still working and at 65, they're eligible for that plan.
Yeah, because it has the upon
Yeah,
separation of service phrase in there. So yeah, we need to clean that up. So we write something and just circulate around by email so we all know what it's going to say. We want to be sure we're definite with the language and not loose with our words.
Dr. Ryan, would you be okay with doing that?
Separating from service after having worked a minimum of 10
Actually,
consecutive
not.
years.
I was lucky I was here at all, if you know what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's yes.
Maybe you weren't. Maybe you all weren't lucky I was here, but I was like,
No, come on. Not,
This time they were eligible for.
let me take a shot at it. I'm not sure we've got anything to vote on.
Eligible to coverage under a Medicare.
It's really
yeah. I would move that that Joe is going to revise the that section of the employee manual to enable still working employees over 65 to participate in our Medicare Advantage plan, and that he's going to circulate the proposed language to us by email. Is that okay? Because our intent is to allow that, and Joe is going to come up with the language.
The reason we're doing this is we don't want to wait a month and have it impact the answer, right?
right.
Okay. So we're going to clarify the handbook under the assumption that there are no impacts from what we're going to find out from the insurance company. We're going to clarify this statement in the handbook to include still working employees after reaching age 65 to get onto the Advantage plan. In better words than that.
Yes, I would second that.
All right. Should we take a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Got a problem with this? All right. Anything else tonight?
No. Nope, I think we're good. I think we did enough, right?
This
I'll
has
make a
been
motion
fun.
to adjourn.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. See
Okay, thanks, bye.
you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.